Treasure, Ṭhānissaro and Guttara Nikaya 7.6. Monks, there are these 7 treasures. Which 7? The treasure of conviction, the treasure of virtue, the treasure of a sense of shame, the treasure of compunction, the treasure of listening, the treasure of generosity, the treasure of discernment. And which is the treasure of conviction? There is the case where a disciple of the Noble Ones has conviction, is convinced of the Tathagata's awakening. Indeed, the Blessed One is worthy and rightly self-awakened, consummate in clear knowing and conduct, well gone, an expert with regard to the cosmos, unexcelled trainer of people fit to be tamed, teacher of devas and men, awakened, blessed. This is called the treasure of conviction. And what is the treasure of virtue? There is the case where a disciple of the Noble Ones abstains from taking life, abstains from stealing, abstains from sexual misconduct, abstains from lying, abstains from taking intoxicants that cause heedlessness. This, monks, is called the treasure of virtue. And what is the treasure of a sense of shame? There is the case where a disciple of the Noble Ones feels shame at the thought of engaging in bodily misconduct, verbal misconduct, mental misconduct. He feels shame at falling into evil, unskillful actions. This is called the treasure of a sense of shame. And what is the treasure of a sense of compunction? There is the case where a monk, a disciple of the Noble Ones, feels compunction at, and the suffering that would result from, bodily misconduct, verbal misconduct, mental misconduct. He feels compunction at falling into evil, unskillful actions. This is called the treasure of a sense of compunction. And what is the treasure of listening? There is the case where a disciple of the Noble Ones has heard much, has retained what he has heard, has stored what he has heard. Whatever teachings are admirable in the beginning, admirable in the middle, admirable in the end, that, in their meaning and expression, proclaim the holy life that is entirely perfect, surpassingly pure. Those he has listened to often, retained, discussed, accumulated, examined with his mind, and well penetrated in terms of his views. This is called the treasure of listening. And what is the treasure of generosity? There is the case where a disciple of the Noble Ones, his awareness cleansed of the stain of stinginess, living at home, is freely generous, open-handed, delighting in being magnanimous, responsive to requests, delighting in the distribution of alms. This is called the treasure of generosity. And what is the treasure of discernment? There is the case where a disciple of the Noble Ones is discerning, endowed with discernment of arising and passing away, noble, penetrating, leading to the right ending of stress. This is called the treasure of discernment. These, monks, are the 7 treasures. The treasure of conviction, the treasure of virtue, the treasure of a sense of shame and compunction, the treasure of listening, generosity, and discernment as the 7th treasure. Whoever, man or woman, has these treasures, is said not to be poor, has not lived in vain. So conviction and virtue, and faith and Dhamma vision should be cultivated by the intelligent, remembering the Buddha's instruction. The treasure of conviction, the treasure of virtue, the treasure of a sense of shame and compunction, the treasure of listening, generosity, and discernment as the 7th treasure. Whoever, man or woman, has these treasures, is said not to be poor, has not lived in vain. So conviction and virtue, faith and Dhamma vision should be cultivated by the intelligent, remembering the Buddha's instruction.